This squish right here underfoot, I feel is what the squish should have been with those Rejuvenate slides. Like, this is the squish I was anticipating and expecting with the Rejuvenate slides. In fact, this exceeds my expectations of what I thought the Rejuvenate slides were going to be. Like, these are very, very squishy. Good day to you all. We are back with another unboxing here. I have no idea what this is. So let us find out. I have a hunch, just based on the packaging. This might be the shark. It might be the Rigorer, but I honestly don't know because I have a few on order, and for some reason my emails have been coming like a day late for my shipping. So I probably won't receive the shipping information on this for another day, even though it's already here. I don't know what's going on. So let's find out. If this is the Rigorer, this is a viewer requested slide. I'm guessing it's the Rigorer. Yep. I think that's shark. I don't know if that says shark. Yep, it is the Rigorer. The Shark 3. Perfect. I pulled it up on the website. This box has seen better days, but I think that is a tendency when they don't come inside of an outer box, when it's just like plastic, you know, that gets beat up along the way. So I got these in the black. I wasn't really sure. I really liked the gray one that they had, but they didn't have my size, so I figured I'd just get the black because I think it was relatively new. I almost got like these like green and pink ones, but I thought the black looked okay with the speckling and stuff, even though I complained about the speckling with the cane designs, but it's whatever. So I've got the webpage pulled up. We'll read a little bit on these. I ended up going up in size. I went with a 13. These look like they've been worn a few times. I got some sock lint. Went with a 13 because the video that I watched on them, the guy was complaining that the toe box was a little narrow, and he still went up in size and it was still small on him. So instead of just going with the 12s, I went up to a 13. So hopefully that works out for these. So let me read the write-up. I've got the website pulled up. These are off of the Rigorer.com website. This is the Shark 3 slides in black. And they retail for $34. I think they were $27 when I purchased them, but their shipping costs are a little excessive. It's $20 shipping for one item, and then it jumps up to like $50 for two items. And then it doubles again to like $110 for three items, because I was initially going to order a couple from this website because the prices aren't bad, but then once the shipping kicked in, I just got the Shark 3 slides and called it a day. I didn't want to pay any more than $20. Didn't want to pay $20 shipping, but anyways, I'm already getting off topic. Rigorer Shark 3 slides. The midsole is made of EVA material, which has high resilience and is soft and comfortable, so your feet won't get tired after walking for a long time. The sole is removable, making it easier to clean and more versatile. And rubber plastic sheet to the midsole to improve wear resistance and effectively reduce wear and deformation. The extra large, sharp-toothed TPU design on the outsole of the shoe improves the sidewall support and reduces the risk of rollover. Just makes me think of cars rolling over. I'm assuming they're talking about like rolling your ankle, you know? The side and bottom are hollowed out to reduce the weight of the shoe, making it lightweight and breathable, creating a comfortable feeling for the foot. And that is everything. That is everything. So it looks like they've got a similar lock-in design as the AG Whales. There's like a big medallion on the bottom that locks into the outsole in a sense. So we will take a look at that. Let me get this back up. All right, the Shark 3 by Rigorer. So it's got the removable insole design. One thing that's unique about these is they have a little tail to them, which I'm curious how that's going to feel on foot. I'm often not a huge fan when the heel has this very rounded slope to it. We'll see how it feels, but there was another pair of foam shoes that were like that. I think it was the Supernovas. The heel was kind of rounded on that. And I wasn't a huge fan of how that felt on heel, but these might be different. They feel very soft. That insole feels very squishy. So we've got some cuts here on the side, and it says there for ventilation, but those holes are pretty consumed by the insole. There's not a lot of like breathing space left. I imagine it'll compress once you get your foot in there, but just at a glance looking at the side, like those holes don't look functional, just how low they are in reference to the insole. So it's solid black, and there is like a plastic inlay on the side, probably for structural support, that is also black, and then we've got this white speckle over the whole thing. So I typically don't go with black slides, but this speckled effect kind of broke it up a little bit. And it, like I mentioned, this looked like it was a relatively new color option for this slide, so I figured I would try it out because there probably isn't any other footage on YouTube yet of this particular colorway. We've got a little shark fin emblem on that heel tab right there a little bit. There's our size. I went up to a 13 like I mentioned because of the toe. So we'll see how the 13s fit. So there's our lock-in component right there, that medallion. We have a very basic kind of ridged outsole tread pattern to it, which seems to kind of focus on this this lock-in component here. There's our fuel injection point. There's our mold injection point. A little bit of a scab. It's not too ugly though. There's our mold seam also, so it's really not integrated, but it's kind of in the typical location where these seams tend to be. Right in the middle of the midsole. And I'm guessing this is glued in. This plastic thing. It's got a little bit of glitter effect to it. I don't know if you can see it. It's kind of a bluish glitter, which is kind of a nice effect. It's very subtle though. Alright, let's pop out our midsole. Oh, we've got a little ridge on the top here too. A little shark fin on the top. This feels like that NRG 40 midsole that the Whales 2 have. Pop out our medallion there. Okay, let's take a look at the midsole. Or the insole, sorry. We got a texture, we got a pattern texture. If I can get this in focus. On the side here, it's kind of almost like a ribbed texture, but it's wavy. We even have a texture on the bottom. There's our lock-in medallion. There's perforations or holes drilled into the bottom of this insole. That probably helps with the compression. Since it's entirely contained, just compressing in itself, it probably doesn't have a lot of room for expansion, which can kind of defeat the purpose of having a really squishy insole if there's no extra area for that insole to expand out into. So I'm guessing that's why they have those holes in the bottom. We got some sizing info on the side, and there's that same kind of rolling pattern that's on the outsole is also on the insole. So we'll have to see how that feels on barefoot. All right, let's look at the shell. I think they said it was TPU. The bottom feels harder than the top. They're both rather hard. so it's a little firmer of an EVA. That subtle blue glitter is also in the EVA or the TPU, whatever it is. I don't know if it's showing up on the camera very well. It's very subtle, but you can kind of see it right here. We got a little bit of a blue glitter effect like there is with that plastic. It's very subtle. It seems to be more focused around this area because I don't see it as much up here. So that's a nice touch. Nice little addition there. Kind of a big cavity. We've got our toe opening and then our sides and then the bottom. And that's about it as far as looking at it in hand. We've got another serial sizing number there on the bottom, probably for the date and like the specific mold that this came out of. So not too bad, not too bad. I'm noticing a pattern with these Chinese developed slides. They really enjoy their removable insoles and their lock-in mechanic. So this one locks in pretty solidly though. So it's just a unique design that I notice among the Chinese-born designs. It seems like all the other more American designed ones, even though they're still made in China, they don't use this removable insole. Some of them are starting to get in more to the dual layer design of having like an outsole, so to speak. But that seems to be the variation there. It's instead of having like insole to shell design, they will have like entire slide to an outsole type of design. So it's something different, something unique. All right, let's throw them on foot. All right, you know, like I was just saying, the entire base to the outsole design, kind of like these rejuvenates here. How we've got an entire EVA slide basically, and then we've got like a rubberized outsole instead of having like a firmer shell to it, and then having the insole softer. So just different design, different approaches. Our Croc though, the one we just did recently, like Crocs has been getting more into the insole variation to the midsole and the outsole, like with this this in-motion clog, how we've got more of a squishy insole to the Crocszilla outsole and midsole. So some American companies are doing it, but then it doesn't have the removable insole. That's one thing distinct I've noticed about the Chinese companies is they make the insole removable. So, all right, let's slide into these. They don't look like they're super wide, just at a glance. So I think the 13 was the way to go with the sizing. Just the way it kind of wraps and tapers at the toe. So I've still got ample room in these. So that insole is pretty squishy. It's got a rise though, right at the forefoot, right under the ball of my foot. I'm feeling a rise up here though in that insole. And it's probably those texture lines. These lines here are those that rolling texture in the bottom. It seems to kind of peak at its height, like right under the forefoot right there. I just noticed that being raised. And it's probably in conjunction with like the toe drop. They probably raised that up a little bit for the toe drop. It's just something I feel. But these are pretty comfortable though, just sliding in, just initial impressions, just standing impressions. These are pretty comfortable. I'm kind of digging that insole. It's very reminiscent of the AG Wales in that NRG 40 insole. I don't know what foam they're using for these, but it feels very relative to those. So these are kind of nice. I'm kind of digging them. I kind of like that black speckled too. I'm not feeling that roll up on the heel like I was pointing out in hand. It kind of that incline is far enough back that it doesn't feel like it's putting pressure on the back of my heel. So these are pretty good. The only thing that's standing out, like mentally, as far as like being out of place, is that rise under the forefoot in conjunction with the toe drop there. So, but it's not a terrible thing. I just noticed there's some pressure right there under the forefoot of it being a little taller. But yeah, initial step-in impressions are pretty good. Let's walk some in these and see how they do. Alright. Not too bad. Not too heavy. They've got a little weight to them. I feel like I'm a little elevated. I think that midsole, or that insole rather, is pretty thick. So the insole in conjunction with that outer shell is a good amount of material underfoot, and I just feel like I'm a little taller, like an inch taller. So these do stand a little higher. But the walking impression is pretty comfortable. I'm getting some nice squish underfoot. I kind of like that insole. And these fit a little better than those AG whales. They're not so bulbous. So I think the sizing is pretty spot on. Like, these are pretty comfortable as far as like the toe goes. Even though it wraps early here, I feel like they could make this window here a little bit bigger. Instead of just being this circle right here, make it a little more functional and have it kind of wrap all the way. But they probably need it just for this inlay here. But I would like to see this opened up a little more instead of just being the circle right here. Because as is, it's not very functional. I don't feel like it's really an open toe design. It's more of like a window, a toe window design. But just having this material here, I still have enough space having gone up an additional size. So I don't feel like these are too small. Had I gone with the 12, my toes would be kind of getting crunched in the corner right here. So I think going up, so I went up a size and a half. I wear basically an 11 and a half, 12, so I went up to the 13s. And I think that is good sizing recommendation. So if you're looking at getting these, I would go up at least an entire size. If you're on a whole size, I'd go up at least an entire size. If you're on a half size, you'll probably want to go up size and a half. And you honestly, depending on how wide your forefoot is, how much of a toe splay you have, if you're on a whole size, you could probably go up 2 sizes. Because these don't feel big, being 13s. Like, these feel good. They feel okay. If my toe area was a little wider, I would want a 14 in these. Ideally a 13 and a half, but I think a 14 would resolve that wider toe box if that's your foot shape. So if you're on a whole size and you've got a wide toe box, you might want to go up 2 sizes. All right. So they're a little heavier, like I mentioned. I'm noticing a little more weight underfoot, but they're not clunky. They don't feel like extremely heavy. What did I just try on recently that was really heavy? I don't know if those Crocs were heavy. Oh, the Wow slides, the Wow Slades. Those had some weight to them. So these are kind of relative. These might even be a little lighter than the Wow slides. It's pretty relative. Sorry, noisy car going by. Yeah, they're pretty relative. The fit is even relative to those. These are softer though, having that insole. So I'm kind of digging these. These are kind of nice. I will probably keep these. These get the recommendation. These are good. Just go up in size for sure. At least a whole size, if not size and a half or 2 sizes. That's my sizing recommendation. Let's get some down low footage. All right. So I wasn't initially very keen on this design, on this style. Just the shark element seems kind of gimmicky. kind of childish. So when I saw all of these shark themed slides, they just kind of felt a little childish to me in their design, and I wasn't very drawn to them. But they are pretty comfortable, I must say, and I kind of dig this colorway in all black with the dots and stuff. Man, why do they have to be mowing right now? Let me hang on a second. Let me shut this door. Okay, that should help a little. It's like I wait for the perfect time to record these, and then everything kind of erupts around me. At least my neighbors aren't yelling right now. But yeah, these are kind of good. These are kind of good. I like them. I like that texture underfoot. Let me take a sock off. We'll see how these feel barefoot. Okay, not too bad. Very squishy under barefoot. Just that insole is extremely squishy barefoot. I just notice it compress a lot more. So these are pretty good. And they feel okay on the top of my foot. I don't think there's much heel rise with these. It comes back far enough that these are pretty sporty. But they have a very comfortable feel about them, which kind of makes them a little more casual feeling. Like this squish right here underfoot, I feel is what the squish should have been with those Rejuvenate slides. Like this is the squish I was anticipating and expecting with the Rejuvenate slides. In fact, this exceeds my expectations of what I thought the Rejuvenate slides were going to be. Like these are very, very squishy. Since I returned all of my AG whales, these are the softest slide I own right now. So that is one thing that these Chinese companies are achieving with these removable insole designs, is they're reaching a lot softer of a foam, or they're creating a lot softer of a foam underfoot, which is it is what it is. That's something to take note of, I guess. But yeah, I would say these are even softer than the Light Ride. Yeah, these have more compression. They are much taller than these In Motion clogs, but I'm getting more compression underfoot with the Sharks than I am with the In Motion. In Motion are very squishy, but these Sharks are on another level of squish. So not too bad, pretty comfy. They're starting to feel a little warm underfoot. I don't know if they would benefit from having some more cuts in the top. That is one thing. These are almost like an open-toe shoe. Just how much coverage we have on the top of it here. They would probably benefit from having some slits. Like they could do like even if they carried these up a little higher, it would allow a little more ventilation to occur. So I don't know if that was in shot or not. So that might be the only negative impression that I'm experiencing so far, is these might be a little warm of a slide. And that's just speculation, just based on how covered it is. They might not be too bad, especially as long as you're walking. You might get ample airflow through it all. And I don't know how much those windows, you can probably see it from that angle as I put my weight down on it, how much of that insole is compressing, and if those windows are opening up further or not. So that's something to take note of. The airflow, they're a little stuffy. But other than that, I kind of dig these. I kind of like them. I don't see any reason to send these back, so I will add these to the collection, to the registrar, add them to the registry. Not bad. Not bad, Rigorer. You exceeded my expectations with your goofy slide design. Your goofy shark slide design. These are pretty good. These are pretty comfy. I think that's everything I have to say about these. I kind of dig them. I'm tempted to wear them today so my nephew can tease me. You're like, what are those? They kind of match with my new track pants also. So maybe we'll wear the sharks today. Alright, we'll wrap this up. Alright, the Rigorer Shark 3 slides. Pretty good. Pretty squishy, pretty soft. They could have a little more ventilation in the top. But I think as far as like the comfort they're achieving, I'll give them a pass for the lack of ventilation, or should I say the goofy shark design. We'll give them a pass on that because they're achieving some pretty good comfort levels with this design, with that insole. And it feels on par with the AG Whale 2s in terms of comfort. So if you have any experience with the AG Whale 2s, these are right on par with those as far as the comfort goes. And they're not as bulky and bulbous as the AG Whale 2s. So if that's something that is kind of a turnoff with the AG Whales, but you're wanting kind of one of these Chinese design slides that have a removable insole, then these Rigorers might be good for you. So not too bad. Not too bad. Good job, Rigorer. High five. It'd be cool if you could design something that isn't shark based. But I am curious now though about they've got like a cheaper, like a mini shark slide. So maybe we'll keep an eye on those if they pop up somewhere. Amazon needs to sell these. That way I don't have to pay $20 shipping. So, all right. I think that's all for these. They're pretty good. Another good slide that I don't need. Thanks to the viewer who requested these. I hope they exceeded your expectations as they did mine. And please like and subscribe. Leave a comment below on your thoughts and experiences with the Rigorer Shark 3 slide. And I think that's everything. We'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. Cheers. Thanks.